A man in his 40s. I am riding a little horse, galloping on a wide plain in a fairly wide and open landscape that reminds me Africa. I feel very comfortable on that horse. It is not very big, but very courageous, running really hard. We are galloping slightly uphill, but when reaching the summit, my horse all of a sudden collapses, totally exhausted. As it lies on the floor, I feel full of compassion for it, taking its head and pressing it against my heart. I feel the horse needs my heart energy, my recognition. It has been overused. How would you reformulate this? Take some time. Practice by yourself before moving on if you want to. My reformulation: I am running hard physically, using my physical body, my physical power, the horse. Although it is not particularly big or strong, my body, it is doing really well, coping with the demands of a fairly challenging life, slightly uphill. Right now, I am in a stage where my body is tired, collapsing. I need to take care of it. I feel full of love and gratitude towards my physical vehicle, and I know it needs that love. I have this inner loving connection with my own body. That's what it helps it to recover. So, comment about this. The perception of exhaustion may be a very temporary one. It does not necessarily mean that there is a major health problem. The dream, as always, tend to be very time related, which means it refers to a specific experience in the immediate time context, previous day or next day. However, a dream like this might also be a warning, indicating a potential of collapsing. It might deliver a message like, be careful, don't overdo it, you might run out of energy. So what is this dream telling the dreamer? Your body is exhausted, running out of energy. It needs your care and attention, which you are providing, which you can provide it. Care and attention, a rest. That's what the dream is inviting the dreamer to. Okay, let's move on. Another one. A young woman here in her 20s. I am in a hotel. I find lots of little insects in my shoes. They are also on my feet and legs. With my hand, I get rid of those on my skin, but I don't know how to handle the insects in my shoes. I try to find another pair of shoes that I took with me, but I discover one shoe has disappeared. I feel confused, not knowing what to do. I fear that having no shoes, I can't get out of this place anymore. And she wakes up. Take some time to reformulate by yourself if you want to explore that, and then when you're ready, just move on. I am in a hotel. We have already seen a hotel as a transition stage in my life. I discover that I am invaded by negative belief patterns, bugs, insects. That which I rely on to move forward are the shoes. So the insects, the negative aspects, belief patterns, are in fact that which I want to move on with my shoes, which allows me to move on in my life. What I stand on. What you stand on might be also your past, your family, especially if you are young, you will be still very much relying on your family, relying on your shoes. But the shoes might be also the whole of your belief patterns. You can see that in the belief patterns there are some bugs, some negative aspects. So they're also on my feet and legs. They not only affect my progress in life, but also my own being, my capacity to relate to people, to move forward, feet and legs. I try to get rid of that. I can easily reframe that which bothers me personally, but I don't know how to change my family's fear patterns, judgments, limited beliefs. Then I try to find another way to walk my life, to be free from the family's influences. But I discover I can only rely on a very limited means, only one shoe, can't go very far. So my own capacities to walk independently with a new kind of set of beliefs, values, still too limited. So I feel confused, not knowing what to do. How will I be able to move out of this family entanglement and do what I want to do in my life? Can I move out of this transition stage? As a comment, you can add that the girl indeed is living in a very traditional family, and she is an artist herself. She wants to lead a free and creative life. And there are all kinds of obstacles for her to do that. She's just starting to be aware of this challenge. And this is what is coming up in this dream. Very limited, restrictive beliefs and values that her family is putting on her, that she feels are as bugs that prevent her from moving on in her life. Quite clear. So the three questions is, in terms of message, we understand what it means. Are there resource elements in the dream? Not clear. You would have to identify, create, invent, think of another outcome. So there are no obvious resourceful elements in the dream. What is the dream inviting her to? Well, possibly to find a solution and step free from her limiting patterns inherited from the family. How can she move it out and take action in her life to create the life she wants for herself? In this, she might need some assistance, some guidance, as this is not necessarily easy for her. That's her own issue. Okay, let's move on. A woman 45. I am with a man looking at a child, a young boy, swimming in a pool that looks like an aquarium. The child is trying to catch a little red fish. And all of a sudden, then the fish is jumping out of the water and right into the mouth of the child. The child swallows it. And she wakes up. Please reformulate this dream. You might find it a little bit difficult because you may need to ask some questions to the dreamer. Let's look at this. I am looking at my emotional dimension, the pool, feeling the strength of my masculine, rational part. I see my inner child coping with a challenge, trying to catch a fish. A challenge of integrating something catching an experience, grasping whatever is in front of him. He's coping quite well, swimming, so he's not drowning, but he has difficulties getting over the challenge, catching the fish. Then I see the problem gets solved. The fish is being swallowed, integrated. What can this possibly mean? So here we have to indeed check out with the dreamer what the conditions are around the dream. And she says, she's a Western woman who has been living as an expatriate in China for about 1 year. She has been struggling to adapt, finding life as an expatriate without a job, because she followed her husband, quite challenging. During the counseling session, the association she makes with the little red fish is China. China being red. And she has indeed been trying very hard to get over the challenge of catching the experience, integrating the experience, catching the fish, catching China, catching the Chinese experience. Her inner child, the emotional, sensitive, immature part of her, succeeded in swallowing the experience. So the challenge has indeed been integrated, absorbed, digested, or at least she is seriously on her way to succeed in this. She has been progressing a lot in this area. Why a fish? Well, it seems to be the most obvious metaphor for a challenge in water as an emotional experience, especially when associated with the red color, China. So this dream made sense to her as, yes, indeed, it's a very emotional time, trying to integrate the experience, and then all of a sudden I feel, yes, I got it. I feel more relaxed. I can cope with this. Resource element at the end of the dream. There is a relaxation, an awareness that things are under control. So this is it for this unit. Next unit, we will look at body parts as another interesting dream element that we need to be able to understand. So I'm looking forward to next unit with you. Keep progressing on your side. Keep practicing. Bye-bye for now.